Do you have suspicion that I committed a crime? Reasonable, articulable suspicion, either one of you, that I committed a crime, was about to commit a crime,
somebody
in the process of committing a crime.
Nobody's come out here and asked me to leave. If you're going to say for trespassing, I have to be given the right to leave. Nobody's asked me to leave.
I'm out political canvassing, right? I'm over here looking for my next house, and these two dudes come up with their dog and tell me, what's in your backpack?
I prefer in person. I am able to file in person as well. It's not only done online.
Imagine rolling to a gentle stop, only to have 3 cruisers box you in because someone might have seen you selling a stereo. No crime, no evidence, just a fishing expedition wrapped in flashing lights. In today's clip, a calm driver dissects every unlawful request, turning Show Me ID into a live-action lesson on the Fourth Amendment.
What's your name, officer? Please identify yourself.
McLeod from the Clute Police Department.
And you, sir?
Officer Garza, Clute Police Department.
And what am I being pulled over for?
Well, 2 reasons. 1, you made a turn back there without a turn signal. 2, we had a call about you trying to sell something at a store, and at 2 different stores at that, not just one. So a suspicious activity call. And we had to make out with you to see who you are and what you're doing.
Got you. Got you.
So can I have your license, please?
So what crime is that?
Well, there wasn't a crime committed because we don't know if the items are stolen or not.
Do you have suspicion that I committed a crime? Reasonable, articulable suspicion, either one of you, that I committed a crime, was about to commit a crime,
somebody
in the process of committing a crime.
Are there any stipulations?
Absolutely not. Except that you abide by the law.
I am abiding by the law.
No, you're not. You're asking me for my ID illegally.
He conducted a traffic stop.
That's not how that works.
That is how
No crime has been committed. There's no reasonable, articulable suspicion. Excuse me.
When you commit a traffic infraction,
There's no reasonable, articulable suspicion that a crime has been committed. That a crime has been committed.
It was going to be committed. How do we know the stuff you have is not stolen? We had no way to prove it. No way.
Not how that works.
No way I can prove it.
Please get your supervisor here.
Sure.
Because that's not how this works. Well, then she should know better. She should know better. And so should you, Mr. Garza.
We are allowed to step out with people who reasonably believe.
Yeah, dumbass people who don't know the law.
That doesn't have to be dumb or smart.
If I have not been suspected of committing a crime with reasonable, articulable suspicion.
2 people have called saying you in this vehicle are trying to sell them items that they don't know are stolen, we don't know are stolen.
Then there's no crime.
Can you tell me that it's not stolen?
I already told you that.
I didn't ask. So how have you told me?
Because you said that you got a phone call and I asked you if that was illegal and you said no.
Called over the radio that's you.
Here. There's my paperwork right there. Nothing illegal.
Was that so hard?
No, but you can't just get people's ID for nothing, Mr. Garza.
It's not for nothing.
It is. It is. There's policy and procedure, and there's constitutional law that you swore an oath to, my friend.
Hold on. If somebody's standing here, and they're just standing here with no kids, and they're a grown person just sitting there, that's a suspicious person.
You know, I just got a call about some officers that we had to watch out for here that were breaking the law and the people's constitutional rights.
I can assure you that's not us.
You sure it's not you?
Not me. But look,
I have suspicion to believe it's you.
Are you gonna let me finish what I'm saying so you have an understanding?
How you doing, boss?
There's a supervisor right there if you want to
speak. How you doing, supervisor? We're just getting an understanding of constitutional law here. You know, no big deal. He said he pulled me over because he got a phone call that, you know, we were selling stuff. I asked him if that's illegal. He said, no, that's not illegal, right? That's where we were at in the conversation. He asked for my ID, so I asked him again, what did we do that was illegal? For me to give you my ID, did we have any reasonable, articulable suspicion that a crime has been committed? He said no. We got a phone call. 2 people said that items were trying to be sold. That's not a crime. Not here, not in Texas, not in, anywhere. It's not a crime.
My understanding is you were pulled over for a traffic offense.
That's not what I was pulled over for. Mr. Garza pulled me over. This woman pulled through here after. There was no illegal turn. That right there is a turnaround. You don't have to put your blinker on at that turnaround right there.
Tomato.
So you have identified yourself, correct?
I told him who I was right there.
Perfect. All right.
It's not stolen stuff. I'm not trying to give them a hard time, but you guys can't just pull people over and say, oh, we got a phone call. Somebody said you were selling stuff. Let me see your ID. That's not how this works. I respect the law. You guys got to respect it too. You swore an oath to it.
Okay, all right, hold on for there. Okay, look, my name is Sergeant Nieves, badge number 0464, all right?
You know your shit.
Clute Police Department, yes. Look, we got a call at the Ace Hardware parking lot. Person just wanted to remain anonymous, saying that, hey, somebody was trying to sell a stereo in the parking lot, and that's it. They didn't request contact, nothing along those lines, all right? Look, he conducted a traffic stop. He was just trying to identify you guys. Everything's good. That's all we're trying to do.
Key word, try to identify.
That's all. Just try.
But that's not how that works.
Look, we're here, attempting to identify. That's all we're trying to do, all right?
Your name again?
Sergeant Tito Nieves. All righty, sir.
Be safe. Thank you.
One, okay?
And we can sell here. It's not illegal.
It's not illegal.
Especially if I got my sales tax license, correct?
If you are a business conducting business within the city, you need a tax business receipt.
Got all that.
We don't have
Alrighty.
that knowledge.
Thank you. But you can't receive that knowledge illegally.
But we can
okay?
ask you. just
Okay,
like you
and I can
provided.
refuse.
Yes, you can, but we still need to figure out what you're doing somewhere. So until we figure that
You
out,
could try to figure it out.
until we figure that out, you are deemed a suspicious person. Do you understand?
Yeah, but being a suspicious person is not somebody that has been deemed reasonable, articulable suspicion of committing a crime, about to commit a crime, in the process of committing a crime, would give you the only viable and reason to ask for my ID. Period. There's no exceptions at all.
So the traffic stop means nothing.
That wasn't a traffic stop.
So you made.
You specifically
so
told
you
me,
didn't-
and you are being
that's
recorded in my
that's
truck
fine.
too.
You
You
didn't-
specifically
did not
told me when I
indicate-
asked you why I was being pulled over. You
Okay,
specifically
so when
stated
you turn-
that you got a phone call
Hold on.
about suspicious activity.
I'm telling you two
when
things
she
that
pulled
happened,
up,
the reason.
when she pulled up afterwards,
Hold on.
because she came
You really don't
from
like
she
other
came
people
from
talk
this
to you.
way.
How am I
Well,
supposed to-
I'm
how am I
teaching
supposed to
you.
articulate?
How are you supposed to learn if you don't listen?
What do you mean? How are you supposed to learn if you don't listen?
I already know what the fuck I'm doing.
That's the problem with closed-minded people.
That's why I already know what I'm doing.
Listen.
That's why he left. That's why you're gonna leave, and that's why she left without getting my fucking ID. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I'm still conducting a traffic stop, so I do need your ID.
There's no traffic stop. For what? There's no legal traffic
When you
stop.
turn, do you not have to signal which way you're going?
On that turnaround right there, you do not have to signal. Absolutely not, because it's not a left turn.
What is it?
I'm turning, it's a turnaround. That's what that's made for. There's no stop sign there.
There's a stop sign right there.
That's not where I turned around at. I turned around further up.
So you did a U-turn.
I didn't turn around right here.
Oh, all right.
Stop trying to dig, dude. That's not how this is going to work, dude.
I'm doing what my sergeant says. Here you are, sir.
Do what the Constitution says.
10-4.
Your sergeant ain't going to cover your ass when you get sued, dude.
Takeaway suspicious isn't a crime, and policy never outranks constitutional rights. When an officer can't name the statute or the reasonable suspicion, don't trade liberty for convenience. Ask the magic question, keep the camera rolling, and let the law, not intimidation, steer the encounter. Now let's road test those rules and see what happens when the red and blues box you in over nothing more than a rumor and a turn signal tale. 2 cruisers box you in, lights flashing because someone heard you might be selling a stereo in a parking lot. No theft report, no victim, just a fishing expedition for your ID. Today's clip shows how a calm driver dismantles every demand from turn signal violation to suspicious person and turns the stop into a masterclass on the Fourth Amendment.
How you doing today?
You have any ID on you? Getting calls of suspicious people again, so
Would that
I know
be
you're over there by the library, so
Would that be a misdemeanor or a felony?
what?
Suspicion.
Well, you're
Because according to
trespassing.
34285,
right, but
3.5, I'm not.
now you're on private property though.
No, this is a sidewalk.
But you were over here earlier.
No, I was not.
Okay, that's what
The
they're.
camera doesn't lie.
Okay, well I don't know. Are you gonna let me see your camera?
So according to this,
Are you gonna let me see your camera?
no,
Okay, so I don't know.
Not-
You're
I
going
mean,
against theirs, right?
not unless you're going to
So,
arrest me for
Do
something.
you have your ID on you?
This code right here, specifically,
nothing to
yes,
do- what does it say?
huh?
What
It's
is it?
35285.3.5,
Right.
failure to ID. It only says I have to ID if I'm being charged with a crime. Do you suspect me of a crime?
Yeah, trespassing.
I need. What's your reasonable, articulable
You have
suspicion?
ID.
What is your reasonable,
I'm
articulable
asking you for ID.
suspicion?
I'm asking you for ID.
What is your reasonable, articulable
If I asked
suspicion?
you.
I'm not under any requirement.
What's that?
That's my Fifth Amendment right.
What's that got to do with
I'm
it?
invoking it to remain silent. I'm not going to waive it.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to speak to you without my lawyer at this point.
Well, you want to call him?
I don't answer questions.
See, now you don't want to talk to him. I'm going to read this, okay? You want to go?
What's your badge number, sir?
Property?
What's your badge number, sir?
3900.
You've been very professional. Thank you.
I know. See, like I said, the complaint we had was using video in cars in here.
What's your name, sir?
Where?
What's your badge number?
6671.
Are you ILEA certified?
Yes.
So you would know about asking for ID.
You don't want to answer mine,
You're a
I'm not
public
gonna
servant.
answer yours.
You have to.
No.
You're under an obligation. You're a
I'm
public
not.
servant.
No, you can talk
Public
to my
servant.
chief.
Bring him down here. I'd love
No,
to.
You can talk to him.
Okay, I'll go there next.
Stop in it right down the road.
Yeah, I'm not going to go in the building, but if he wants to come outside, that'd be great.
That's a public building. You can't go to the lobby.
Well, this is a public building. I mean,
But it's also private property.
it uses government resources.
But it's
So,
also
but
private
if they set them over here, this is still public access. You realize that?
private property.
You
If they
re-
don't
no,
want
no,
you on
you
their
look.
property, they can say
Handicaps. Nobody's come out here and said that, and
Well,
I have to be.
they're-
I have to be given.
because they don't
I have
know
to
who
be
you are.
given the right to leave. Nobody's come out here and asked me to leave.
I can
If you're
ask
going to
you
say
to
for
leave. That's all right.
trespassing,
Just-
if you're going to say trespassing, I have to be given the right to leave. Nobody's asked me to leave.
Well, when I was talking to you earlier,
Yes, sir.
it was a little unusual because we don't have someone walk around video, so just out of the ordinary. Why I was down there earlier, so I haven't been in to talk with them there, but it could be that they're a little bit afraid to come out because you never know these days what'll happen.
What do you mean what'll happen? I have a Nikon, not a Canon.
I understand, but but I'm just saying, how they, people doing things nowadays. You don't know if somebody's got a weapon on them, if they're gonna. If they're
Oh, I'm totally unarmed.
Okay.
I mean, I'll give you that. I mean, I have no weapons on me whatsoever.
Because sometimes people do a lot of research, before they. That's why.
This is Division of Family Resources, not to mention the WIC building.
Oh,
This is a government entity. If they rent space out of here and they have a public parking area, it's public.
Well, it's public access.
Yeah, public access, which means I have a right to be on it if I need to be on it.
Right.
If I want to walk through here and walk around and do the horseshoe, that's fine. That's my business to be on here to see if the WIC office is maintaining their property.
Okay.
If the taxpayer dollars is getting the trash out of here, making sure it's not, there's not enough parking. Everybody's parking on the streets. Everybody's parking where they're not supposed to be parking. So if I wanted to walk through here and count all the parking spaces, nobody can tell me no. I have business on the property if I was even on the property, which I was not.
You stayed on the sidewalk?
Other than when a guy was walking with his child, I entered the public easement area over on this side.
There, yeah. Okay.
Yes. I've never where you're standing.
Right. I know, but you understand.
Over on this side.
There, yeah. Okay.
Yes. I've never where you're standing.
Right. I know, but you understand. He just asked you for ID just to know who you are, so we know you're not a convicted felon, criminal, anybody that would have bad intentions.
How do I know you're not?
Well, because I am in uniform.
Well, that doesn't mean you don't have any internal affairs investigations upon you or him for criminal activity.
Right.
Okay.
Well, we wouldn't be working the street if we had criminal activity suspicion.
I have no idea. I don't know what your policies are.
Okay. I know you say you're not from around here, so.
Uh-huh.
So you from Indiana?
Yeah.
Okay. See, it's just what I'm saying is we would be gone already. Just show an ID, you're legit, everything's cool, we're out of here.
But I haven't broken a law.
I understand, but that's what the way the call came in about being in it.
But where's the proof?
We'll figure that out. Don't worry.
I'll say, where's the proof?
I understand that's what he was checking.
Okay. Am I being detained?
I believe so.
So I'm free to go.
He's got your card there.
I've got a dozen more.
Do you?
I just need that one because it has his fingerprints on it.
Okay. Sure.
Or he can have it, whichever I determine.
Yeah, it's your card, so.
But I'm not being detained.
I'm not detaining you, no.
Is he detaining me?
He didn't say he was, so. It's kind of.
And the other guy, where's the red vehicle? The fire commissioner. You just guys allow him to park all over the sidewalk whenever he, kind of like this guy, to block the sidewalk. I noticed down there at the fire station, him and another vehicle block.
The red one?
Yeah, they block. I'm handicapped, so they block They blocked the pedestrian throughway so that way citizens have to walk in the street.
I've seen that. I know what you're talking about.
I mean, not only that, but this guy did it too when he pulled up to go talk to him. Oh, you even got that on footage. This guy, the canine unit.
Canine? Okay.
Yeah, pulled up, pulled in sideways, backed
I don't
in.
know who started that down there. Gosh, that's been ever since I've been here. The fire chief has always. I don't know why they like to park in that front.
So they're exempt from the law.
Well, that's the whole thing. Is there's not. It's a whole driveway out. The sidewalk's not. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's
like
tapered.
this.
Yeah, it's tapered. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of.
But it's still a pedestrian throughway because
Right.
because there's no garage door in the way.
Not in front of it.
Right.
Not in front of it.
Right. Thank you, sir. Am I being detained?
We're just waiting to see if they want you no trespass.
So
If
am
they
I
say
being detained?
You are till they tell us.
What
that you
crime
want
do
no
you
trespass.
suspect me it's committing?
What did I just tell you?
I'd like a supervisor out here. Call a supervisor because you're illegally detaining me. You cannot show me. You cannot show me what I'm doing wrong. Are you illegally detaining me?
We'll find you.
Well, I'm in
am I holding you?
I'm a bright freaking vest. Of course you're going to find me.
Am I holding you?
I'm asking if I'm being detained.
Am I holding you?
Am I being detained?
Am I detaining you?
Am I being detained?
Am I detaining
Or
you?
am I free to go?
Bye.
If I'm free to go, I'm free to stay, right?
Bye. On the sidewalk. Right.
I've always been on the sidewalk.
Okay.
Or the public easement.
How long is your battery good for?
Considering I have several battery backups. About 18 hours.
At least you got a nice day.
Excuse me, sir.
Huh?
I said, excuse me, I don't want to walk between you guys and get shot or tased.
Well, I
I'm going to go that way.
Shoot at each other with you walking between.
Well, I just want to make sure I'm giving you notice because I want to see if there's any emergency lights on.
Plenty path there. Emergency lights.
Yeah, I mean, he's well. A lot of times the officers, no lights in the front, emergency lights in the rear. He doesn't have any emergency lights. He's parked in a no parking area. I just want to see.
No parking sign?
You tell me.
I see a no parking sign.
Okay. I do see him blocking the driveway though. The entry.
Where?
Right there on the curve. If I was parked there, I'd get a ticket. But I don't see the emergency.
Okay. All right. Well, they don't want you on the property, so as long as you stay off the property.
Well, don't shoot anybody, don't tase anybody, and don't stick your dog, and don't beat your wife either.
Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Remember, suspicious isn't a crime, and a phone tip isn't probable cause. Ask for the statute, decline the ID request, and keep the camera rolling. When officers realize you know the difference between policy and law, intimidation melts, and the Constitution wins another round on the roadside. Now let's take that same playbook door to door and see whether knowledge can cool a neighborhood panic just as fast. A neighborhood canvasser knocks on a few doors, clipboard in hand, then police swarm demanding ID just to check. No theft report, no complainant, just a rumor that he might be selling something. In today's clip, officers invent a trespass theory, threaten jail, and watch it all collapse when the canvasser calmly cites the First and Fourth Amendments.
So, I'm out political canvassing, right? Okay. I'm over here looking for my next house. Okay. And these two dudes come up with their dog and tell me, what's in your backpack? Okay. And I said, what do you mean what's in my backpack? Okay. Well, I thought I was getting robbed, dude.
I understand, I'm just saying.
And then
not robbing you. How you doing?
Not bad. You're right.
Are you his boss? Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the only concern is, man, look, some people just called in, right? They said that you were going up door to door, like checking door handles and stuff, okay?
Well, I'm not checking. I am going door to door.
We are.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys know the law for politically canvassing the area. That's absolutely something you're allowed to do, okay? Some of those people just called in, right, because they're concerned, because they thought you were like jingling door handles, and they're worried and they're concerned because there's been some break-ins in the area recently.
They need to not come up and demand I open anything. Come up with 2 dogs threatening me. Like, that is not okay, dude.
That's not okay. That's definitely not okay. And I think I can understand both sides of what's happening here.
I can understand them too, but when I told them I'm politically canvassing,
they're not you guys. You know what I mean? They're not the cops.
So here's the deal, okay? So you got to remember, right? You're not in any kind of attire showing that you're politically canvassing, or you're in a video game T-shirt, some headphones, some sunglasses, and a backpack and ball shorts, right? So
that's not illegal.
No, it's not. I'm just explaining to you, right? People might perceive what you're doing, right, is illegal, like hot prowling, right? That is a law and it is a violation. You can't go on people's properties. Anytime you pass a public sidewalk and it's somebody's private property, that is trespassing, right? That's people's concern right now.
If I were to remain,
our job is to figure out what's going on, right? All we need to know is your name, what you're putting. If you have anything to say, hey, I'm politically canvassing, cool. That way we can go back to them and tell them the gentleman is just politically canvassing. He showed us. We have sufficient, information to say, you know what, that's all he's doing. But in the interest of justice and for public, right, that's their request, and that's why we're doing our due diligence.
Well, okay. I mean, respectfully, I know my rights. I will read. Okay. They can request all they want, but to alleviate their concern, my name is Ron, and I work for. Okay. Am I being detained?
Right now, yes, for trespassing, because you were on people's properties. So if you want to go down that road, we just need your name, date of birth, and we'll check you, make sure you're not a wanted person, and be done and over with.
I'm so sorry. Where was he at? Where he was trespassing? I'm so sorry.
He was at people's doors that he was knocking. That's when you cross somebody's threshold to their property line, right? That is trespassing. When you're not on a public
enter or remain unlawfully. I never entered or remained unlawfully.
Hold on, Ron. Calm down.
Yeah.
Sir, I'm just trying to understand.
Sure.
We're going and knocking on people's doors.
No, I understand that. Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. So we're not allowed to not.
First Amendment right.
Ron, calm down.
I'm sorry.
We're not allowed to walk onto someone's door and knock on your door.
Correct, because it's their private property. So so like right now we're on a public side. Like where he's standing is technically private property. Somebody maintains that lawn, somebody cares for that lawn. This building probably, chances are, is who owns that, right? However, most people aren't going to call in and say, hey, you're trespassing, right? But because of the nature and how everything went down, right, and their confrontation, their disturbance, whatever it is that they got into, I wasn't there, right? I wasn't there. It was you and them, right?
Well, how are you going to convince a jury?
Right? So the allegation right now, right, is that. Right? Very simple. All we do is verify who you are, ensure that all you're doing is canvassing.
I have a Fourth Amendment protection.
Right? Okay, if you'd like to go down that road, we can go down and we'll take you to jail for trespassing, if that's the road you want to go down. I'm trying to prevent that, alleviate all that, by just verifying who you are. Very simple.
I committed no crime.
When you're trespassing, that is a crime.
No, if anybody ever told me to leave their property, I left, and that wasn't today.
Okay, it doesn't matter. You still can't just trespass on people's properties. It's private property. If you don't own it, it's owned by somebody else. Right? Like the grass you're standing on, if somebody called and said, hey, that guy's trespassing, I want to trespass,
so
I have
then
to identify you and issue you a warning, and then
a picture is sufficient.
Okay? What was that?
A picture is sufficient for a warning. You can take my picture and say you did.
That's not sufficient. We need a name and date of birth because we have to issue you a formal trespass warning.
So under threat of arrest, if I do not give you my name,
okay.
So if I do not give you my name, will you?
Because now you're
that you will arrest me.
You're trespassing, and you don't give us your information. Now it's obstruction.
If I do not give you my name, you'll arrest me.
Listen, we don't want to go down that road.
I know, but I'm just asking you.
I am being as reasonable with you as I can be. Okay.
And I want to comply.
Listen, okay.
I want to comply, but
private property, okay. The city of Billings, right, requires we identify the person to issue them a warning, saying, "Hey, sir, you've been warned. Please do not trespass."
And the Supreme Court has ruled that a picture is sufficient.
Ron, I need you to hold on for a second. This is my program organizer.
Okay,
would you mind just talking to her for a second?
No problem.
I want legal representation.
Hello, this is Officer Diaz. Who am I speaking with? Good. I'm doing well. We're just out here because there was reports of some kind of hot prowling going on where, what's your name?
But they're false reports.
My name is...
Thank you.
We work
What's
for... Ron, he works with me.
Ryan. So I guess Brian?
Ron.
I guess Ron was doing some political canvassing.
That's what we do.
And they were knocking on doors and so forth, which they're allowed to do, right?
No crime.
When you trespass on somebody's private property, it's trespassing. So most people aren't going to call in that you came to solicit and do all that stuff, right? At the end of the day, like I explained all that, that's all we're trying to do.
I give up my rights. He just said I haven't committed any crime. I have no obligation to identify.
Real quick,
That's what he said.
It's wrong, right?
But if he's going to threaten me with arrest, then I will sue them for a violation.
So, really quickly,
Is like
let me just clear this up really quickly, okay?
Somebody maintains the grass.
Billings City Code has a thing just called prowling.
That's fine. I just need to know, if I do not give my name, will you arrest me?
If Ron is
Okay,
gonna
thank you.
cooperate, I don't know what company you work for.
Am I free to go now?
Not want to continue.
Not right now, right? Just Billings City
So
Code.
what reasonable articulable suspicion do you have that I... Trespassing is when you enter and remain unlawfully. Nothing about me knocking on their door was unlawful.
I appreciate you explaining the trespass to me, okay? That's really helpful. Thank you. Okay?
Like I said, most
I'm talking about the
people in
situation,
reasonable
it's Billings City Code,
don't care
okay?
that you
But
come
as
to
you
their
were
door.
prowling, you kind of already explained to me why you're here. You're politically
And I have my
canvassing, right?
boss. So there we go. Political canvassing. This is my First Amendment right. I am exercising my First Amendment right.
So, like, as part of like that Billings City Code requiring,
because of that,
we just need to identify.
Can you get me that Billings City Code?
Would you like me to show it to you?
Yeah.
I don't want a person identify him,
Here you go,
be
boss.
done with it, and send him on his way.
You can even read it if you would like.
Being difficult and not wanting to give his name. So that's kind of where we're at.
Oh, I'm a law-abiding individual practicing my First Amendment right, though.
Sorry.
Absolutely. Right,
So,
but part of the problem
absolutely,
is
absolutely.
People came and they described it, right? They described it as you were coming in and you were like making.
But that's why you
right?
do due diligence and you come and get the second side of the story and you find out that my boss is here and I'm exercising my First Amendment right. So now, so what crime have I committed?
Because I'm trying to complete and make sure, right? Like obviously, yeah.
What does my name have to do with any of that?
Verify it, right? For us to be able to
And that's what we want to leave it
verify
as, very simple.
and confirm,
Just be like, hey,
right?
man,
That you are here and what you're doing is politically.
I just told you, do you have any reason to believe that is not why I am here? Other than what those people... Exactly. If you don't know, how are you going to convince a jury?
Because here's the thing, man, is we don't necessarily know for sure.
Ron, we are not trying to antagonize these guys. They're trying to do their jobs. Someone call the police. Like if you were to call the police in your area and tell them it's the same thing, they're going to come and check it out. That what they said to you is not okay, but trying to figure out the situation. We've got to try to stay calm for them. They're trying to not arrest you. They're trying to get to the bottom of who we are so that they can just...
I believe in my rights. That's why I'm out politically canvassing, exercising my First Amendment right. And I've just asked, am I going to be arrested if I do not give my name? He said no. What's your answer?
Okay, so
since you know that I'm politically canvassing and not doing that code.
Here's the deal, okay? Since you're being less than forthcoming and there's bigger problems that are plaguing our city in the interest of justice and the safety of the community, we're not going to waste our time with you anymore, okay?
I want to go home.
But
Thank
the
you.
reality is, okay?
Thank you.
Had we had more time and all this stuff, we'd be having...
Take away knocking on a door isn't trespass, and suspicious isn't probable cause. When officers can't name the statute, ask if you're free to go keep filming and stand on the Constitution. Each peaceful refusal chips away at badge-based bluffing and reminds every cop that civil rights aren't optional. Now let's push those same principles past the sliding doors and see whether a police lobby can really lock them out. Step inside a suburban police lobby, where one sergeant decides the station is his private castle, shoving a cameraman and growling, "You can't come in here." Seconds later, the visitor calmly recites Illinois FOIA, Section 140/3C word for word, flips the power dynamic, and leaves the desk crew wondering if they've just met a lawyer in street clothes. Spoiler, the First Amendment wins again.
Hey, I need to file some paperwork. No, sir, I am able to file FOIA. Could you call your superior here? Right, yeah. I could file a FOIA, yes, sir. Yeah, I'm here to file a FOIA. I prefer in person. I am able to file in person as well. It's not only done online. What's your name? Taylor, thank you. Oh, now there's the door. I'll just walk in.
Whoa.
Hey, buddy.
No, out here.
Please don't touch me.
I'm the police.
I don't care who you are. You don't touch people.
You don't come into the office.
Okay. Yes, I do. And I sit down just like this. What is it? You don't put hands on people, sir. What is it that you want?
I don't want your assistance.
You don't.
What's your name and your identifier?
It's Sergeant Dabrowski.
Okay, there you go. There's no need for a shitty attitude.
What do you want? You can't come in here. You have to talk to them on the phone. Do you understand me?
I don't answer your questions. You
What
are
is it you
dismissed.
want?
I'm not interested in talking to you. You call your superior. What's your star number, sir?
14.
That's good enough. You have a good day.
What was he on the phone for?
He's trying to do a FOIA request.
Yes, that is correct.
Closed, so I told him that online. Wasn't happy with that. He asked for a supervisor. I did reach out to the other sergeant.
I am able to do a FOIA request in person too as well, sir. 5 ILCS 140 permits me to do FOIA requests in person as well.
You absolutely can, but they're closed, is what he's saying.
Okay, well, I could file the FOIA request. If they don't have to be open to accept the FOIA request according to state law.
And you can do it online.
And I could do it in person as well. I prefer in person. I'd like to familiarize myself with the staff just like you just put your hands on me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that was uncalled for.
Okay. So you're going to sit here until when?
I need to file a FOIA request and tell them through my FOIA request.
And that's all done through records, right? And what time do they get here?
That's bad information. All three of you gentlemen are misinformed. Freedom of Information specifies upon receiving public record request, public body shall forward it over to his FOIA officer immediately.
Right, and because they're closed, you can file it online anytime you like.
I prefer to file my request in person.
Then you'll have to come back at 8 a.m. tomorrow.
No, that's not the way it works, sir. Do you have a designated form, Taylor?
Form?
Yep. FOIA form. Okay, you said it's online, right? Could you access online, print one out for me?
Me print one out for you?
Yeah, you being a staff member, you being a worker here, working for the people.
We got other supervisors coming.
Sure. I'll wait for another supervisor.
Who's coming? Okay.
You have a wonderful day, sir.
Oh, I will.
Are you honoring your oath? You look like a tyrant.
Really? Okay.
Yes, you do.
No need for name calling there, pal.
Okay, it's called freedom of speech. That's my opinion. Okay. Just like you feel the right to touch people.
Well, when you start barging into my station,
It's not barging. It's called walk in.
It's called criminal trespassing.
No, it's criminal trespass. No, it's not criminal trespass. You don't know what you're talking about. Trespass 720 ILCS 521, criminal trespass to real property. This section shall not apply for being in a building which is open to the public while business during normal business hours. I'm here to file a FOIA request.
And you're causing a problem.
You're the one who's causing the issue.
No, you're causing the problem.
You put your hands on people.
You've been told when the FOIA office is open, and here you are.
I have the FOIA law. Everything that you're spewing is incompetence at this moment.
Okay.
Your entire career is subject to public disclosure.
Oh, and I know.
Everybody you've arrested can
yes,
be interviewed.
Yes, it is.
Yep. But I'll speak to the supervisor. You have a nice day, sir. Thank you.
You too.
Yep.
Hi, sir.
Hey, how's it going?
Supervisor?
Yes, I did.
Just, my body was on.
Yeah. May I get your name and your unique identifier to begin with?
My name is Sergeant Tyson. My star number is 21. What can I help you with?
Sure. Yep. Did the gentleman there relay what my request was?
He said you were asking about FOIA requests?
Yep.
Okay.
I just need a FOIA form to fill out.
Okay. All of our FOIA forms are now online.
Okay. They are also in person. I prefer to do my business in person at this time.
Okay. I don't have FOIA requests here.
Sure.
All of our FOIA requests are online.
Okay. FOIA does not require a specific standard form, so I could fill it out on a blank form, and I'll go ahead and submit my FOIA request on a blank piece of paper and submit it over. They'll be responsible for forwarding over to the FOIA officer immediately.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah, a few minutes I'll be through with it. It's just that officer that just left. What was his first name?
I don't know who just left.
You don't know, okay. What was that officer's first name that just left, sir?
Sergeant Dabrowski.
Dabrowski? Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Dabrowski, okay. He put hands on for me just simply walking through the door and started acting very tyrannical. His entire career is subject to public disclosure. Everybody he arrested is subject to have interviews. Everybody he's arrested in his career can be interviewed and questioned about his tactics and his behavior.
Well, is there anything else I can
But anyhow, sir, no, you've been cordial. I'll go ahead and file my FOIA request. If I could just have let me see if there's any blank pages here. Oh, there's another officer standing there.
Do you have a blank page, sir?
Blank sheet of paper?
Blank sheet of paper? I see some pamphlets and stuff on the wall over there. Maybe there's one over there.
I don't think anything's blank. Everything's like
Yeah, maybe on the back side of the page. Thanks. That's good.
Good luck, please.
Thank you, sir.
Anything else?
All right, let me go ahead and fill this out.
I just wanted to, this is the form that's
Standard form.
online.
Beautiful.
So that way it's a little bit easier.
Okay, 5 ILCS 5 ILCS section 140 3C specifies there's no standard form.
Yeah. I said if you want to fill out the back,
Sure,
that's
sure.
fine. That way you just
I'll hang on to this. I'd like that it has the title up here. I will hang on to this for my records.
Okay. That's fine.
But yeah.
That's just the same form that's available online. So I just
Right,
wanna make sure
yeah,
you- Okay.
for sure.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Do you have a business card?
I don't, unfortunately.
It's okay. Thank you.
Today's takeaway policy stops where the Constitution starts. A public building is public FOIA forms don't require permission slips, and hands off the citizen is lesson #1 for any badge. Know the statute cited out loud and watch unlawful orders melt into sudden courtesy. Cameras roll, rights endure.